Hello everyone, Jimmy is with you as always, and today we have another selection of stories. Do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel. This is very important to me. Well, let's get started. The first story today from the user Throwrena family, let's listen. I don't think I can marry him because of his family. I know people will say that I am crazy, but my gut tells me I am right. This was supposed to be the first time I am meeting his parents. He has two sisters, mom and dad. I was excited to meet my future in-laws, but it shattered. A few days ago, I met his family. Some things about them just didn't sit right with me. His mom is very possessive about him. Like the first thing she said when she saw me was, "So you are the lady that keeps my son busy." I know it sounds like a joke, but she said it in a condescending tone. Throughout the entire gathering, she was trying to avoid me. She would get irritated whenever I got closer to my fiancé. She made one very mean comment. When I asked her for a piece of pie she made, she said I will not be able to fit in my dress if I eat any more of it. She deliberately made me sit far away from him so that she could sit beside him. I knew she didn't like me, but I tolerated that. But she was way too harsh on her oldest daughter. She keeps making comments like, "When are you getting married?" and if she still can't get over Ben, her BIL. The thing is, Mia, oldest daughter, used to date Ben until he dumped her to be with the younger sister Jen. Jen isn't very nice either. She was mean to Mia and kept bugging her to get a husband. Mia is 33. I don't think she needs to rush. Jen also didn't like me because she made some snide remarks about my upbringing. I grew up in an abusive household. I had to struggle a lot, whereas my fiancé came from a well-to-do family. His dad didn't speak much. He didn't say anything and just nodded. The only normal person there was Mia, because she just kept to herself. But nonetheless, I did not feel very welcomed by them. I just had this gut feeling that if I get married, this will be my whole life. I would always have to be in competition with his mother. But he is so nice and sweet. I never felt so in love with anyone like I did with him. He brings me flowers. He takes care of me. He treats me like a queen. But I do not like his family at all. I broke it off with him. He was understandably sad. He asked for a reason. I just told him I didn't feel good about our relationship, that we are not compatible. There were tears, but I left. Now I am sitting in my aunt's house writing this. One moment I felt like calling him and telling him I had cold feet. We are perfect together. We earn well, we have similar hobbies, and we are vulgar compatible. But this one thing about him just bugs me a lot. I am heartbroken. I know I don't deserve to be because I was the one who called it off. Author update this story. I just talked to his sister Mia on the phone. It was a surprise to me that she wanted to talk. She got the news of us breaking up and asked if we could talk on the phone. I agreed. I was desperate to hear any news from him. We talked for like an hour or so. It was mostly her telling me how her family was toxic, that I made the right decision because her mom had a weird obsession with her baby boy. Also, she doesn't know why she is the black sheep of her family. She was not adopted, nor was she an affair child. She also mentioned her mother was a bit of racist because of where I came from. Overall, that day, she wanted to warn me. I asked why my ex doesn't treat her right. She said my ex is in delusion that they have a picture-perfect home, but he doesn't realize how toxic his mother is. She did bring it up with him, and he just said that they are family. So families shouldn't hold grudges. Honestly, I felt bad for her. She also said she will be going NC with her family. She thought she could salvage their relationship and let them be a part of her life. But she decided she doesn't want that. She also shared some personal information about her relationship status and future, but I do not want to share that. It's not my place to share it, but she told me to meet him and tell him the truth. He deserves to know why I don't want to be a part of his family. He needs to hear the truth. I will be meeting him tomorrow. And yeah, as a lot of you guys requested, I will give an update to you guys. I tried to update, but it got removed, so to those who may it concern. Hello guys, I promised I will come back with an update. I did it. I finally talked to him. I told him everything that I mentioned in the post, and also about my feelings for his family, especially how they are treated Mia. Needless to say, he was upset. He tried to convince me this is all in my head, that I shouldn't throw away our relationship because of his family. His family will accept me if I become a part of it. I tried to explain things from my own perspective, but he wasn't budging. Then the topic of Mia came. He said it is unfair that even his sister is abandoning the family. He mentioned Mia's big news and she said she doesn't want to be a part of their family. I told him I knew about it because I talked to Mia. That seemed to upset him even more. He is pissed that Mia shared her news to me before his family. I got angry and told him this is exactly why I do not want to be a part of his family. Her mother has made racist comments to me. I'm half Bengali. His mother treated me like an outsider and didn't make me feel welcome. His family is very toxic. I grew up in a toxic family. I don't want to die in one. Maybe someday he will find a woman his mother approves of, but that woman is not me. We had a big fight. He was obviously defending his family. He was not willing to listen what I had to say. Overall, he was very dismissive. We ended our conversation in a very bad note. I am sad about it. Aside from his family drama, he was a good guy. But I don't think I can handle his family, because you don't just marry one person. You marry their entire family. They didn't even bother to know me at all. So that's the update. What I think about this story: you really ended the relationship because he showed you who he was with his family. He didn't defend you. He put his mother first and would have continued all his life. When you went to speak to him, he didn't hear you. He denied everything and made excuses for his family's bad behavior, showing you exactly how your life would be each time his mother would have put you down. You might think you broke up because of his family, but really you broke up because of him. And I'm glad you stood up for yourself and decided to let yourself be bullied into a relationship with someone who would never put you first, like you deserve. Let's check the user's comments. I have lived a similar experience, but from the angle of Mia, the black sheep, being my partner. The black sheep is just treated as though they are wrong for being themselves. It's a very warped life, and it's hard for them to move forward in life doing anything aside from just leaving the family. We did, and while my partner still has bouts of emotional pain and turmoil because he misses his siblings, he doesn't think he made a mistake and has never wavered on his choice to have zero contact with anyone. He just worried for and misses his siblings. They all wanted to know why he wouldn't just talk to the narcissist parent. That's all they've ever wondered, along with some well-learned guilt tripping to try to get him to come back. None of them have ever asked him what happened to make him want to leave. They never asked how he's doing. It's like all they care about is that he talks to the narcissist parent. It's just heartbreaking and wild. Regardless of the details of this story, it is always important to be honest in a breakup, particularly if it is not a personal thing to the dumpee and something they could do something about. Oops, ex-fiancé will not give any credence to the reason, of course. His family is great, apart from Mia, in his eyes. But if he keeps losing partners and they keep saying, sorry, but your family, eventually he will have to hear it. Or at least it gets harder to not hear it. Had something similar. My partner's ex was very active in our relationship. Although I wasn't that bothered, I did point it out a few times. We eventually broke up, unrelated reasons, and it wasn't until his next partner said the same thing when they broke up that he thought there might be something in what we were both saying. He even apologized to me. I mean, it's not quite the ending you might think I'm building to. My ex-partner and the troublesome ex are now married, so I assume what he took from it all was that they were both still in love with each other, not that the ex was a toxic influence. The next story from the user, Confused Natch 2024, let's listen. My husband, 32, and I, 30, have been married for 10 years. Recently, he told me that he wanted a divorce because he wasn't happy. He came to the conclusion that he never really wanted to be married and wants to focus on his military career. I had always supported his career. I asked him for couples therapy because all of the problems he said we had were things that could be fixed, but he refuses and said our marriage can't be fixed. I have no choice but to let him go. However, he believes that him and I can still live in our house and live our separate lives, and he's already dating a girl from work. I cannot do this. When I told him that I wasn't comfortable with him dating yet, he accuses me of wanting to prevent him from moving on. I made it clear that if he wishes to date, he can do so, but I will not sit here and watch him do it because it kills me. I told him that I need to get away from him so that I can heal. and I refuse to live in the house while he goes off and starts a whole new life while somehow maintaining his old one. I told him I want to sell the house, and he's accusing me of trying to ruin him financially, especially because our mortgage is so low. I'm currently half a year away from my bachelor's degree that would allow me to find a steady job, as the job that I currently have now does not pay enough for me to live on my own. However, I have a large support system that is willing to help me. So basically, what I'm asking is AITAH for wanting to move on with my life, even if it means that I have to force him to sell our house. Author edited the story. Our marriage hasn't been great for a while, and I knew this, so the last 6 months I've been trying to fix things. He, however, has told me he wanted this divorce months ago and was building up the courage to ask for the divorce. I know that what he's asking for is delusional, but I guess I feel bad because he gave me a portion of his GI Bill for my schooling, which he's now threatening to take away. That's no big deal, because again, I have a good support system. I am graduating with a science degree, and in my area, I know I can find a good job with it. He just assumed that since we always got along well, that I would go along with his plan. Author update this story. So this is a small update from my last post. Thank you to mostly everyone for being so kind. I have been in contact with a lawyer, and all of my bases are covered there. I told him that I was not budging and that our house was going to be sold, or he can buy me out. He has agreed to sell. The interesting part is that the girl he has been seeing was under the impression that I was okay with their arrangement. He basically told her that we were separated but still living together. She now knows the truth and does not want to see him. We met up and compared text messages and stories, and he has been lying to her. Why he thought I couldn't easily just search her up and get in contact with her is beyond me, but I had a feeling he was lying to her. When it was explained to him that what he did was completely wrong, he is now remorseful and apologetic for hurting me. I don't believe him. Either way, this divorce is going to happen, and good luck to the next girl that deals with him. I have started therapy to help me adjust, but I know that I am going to be okay, and honestly, I don't want to be with someone who is willing to hurt me like that. That is all for now. What I think about this story. Amazing how he's sorry now that his AP dumped him, and you made it clear he lost his usual bangmaid. Oh no, the regret. The pain. Good deal on standing up for yourself. He thought he was going to get to sleep with anyone while you washed the dishes, and you know he would have lost his mind when you brought a man home. Good luck on the therapy, and know you're doing the right thing. Let's check user comment. To be honest, even if she did report him to the military, he more than likely would only get a slap on the wrist. If it was the other way around, and she was in the military and cheating, they would slam her so hard. But since it's a man, they wouldn't want to ruin his career. I was in the military and saw this many times. No matter what the guy did, they never wanted to ruin his career. But if it was a woman, she'd get roasted. I was on a carrier, and as happens in deployment, there were lots of affairs. One E3 got caught with a chief who was married. The E3 had a ship broadcasted captain's mast, major disciplinary hearing, and was lambasted all over the ship for 5,000 plus people to watch, as it was recounted that she was sleeping with him and how she jeopardized mission readiness and was kicked out, even though she wasn't married. The chief, who had about 15 years in, only got restriction, where you are not allowed to leave the ship in any fashion, a cut in pay for the time he was on restriction, and was moved to a different command. That's it. No reduction in rank, no discharge, just moved and hushed. Even though he was a superior, someone with authority who definitely should have known better, they didn't want to ruin his career. So even if OP does report it, likely they won't do anything major to him, just to the unknowing coworker. Thanks to everyone who watched to the end. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.